Good afternoon. I pray all is well with everyone. Um, I'm back again with a video. This is called Needed Conversations. So, you know, I say every time I do a video, my question um, when I'm in my prayer state or my meditation state is, how do I change the planet? How do I change the vibration of this planet with love? Okay, how do I do that so things come? So anyway, you know we've been on this prayer thing, and to me, I love it. This the 5:55 prayer. Um, it gets me. I set my alarm for like 5:54 because like yesterday I was driving, and the alarm went off, and I was like, oh, perfect, and so I just went straight into mode, and I started praying for collective of at that time. But anyway, so there was like, in order to um to reap the benefits of what we're trying to do, there's certain things that we're responsible for. So this is like the needed conversation. And anyway, this video is like the the one to introduce the different topics. So the needed conversations are, okay, first and foremost, you understand that we're going through a space right now which is life is changing. We're in a time where everything is shifting. Nothing is going to go back to normal or whatever normal is. But we're in a really serious time of change. So with that, we have an obligation to ourselves to be able to usher in or be able to maneuver through these changes, because there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do or to be like as certain changes move forward, as frequencies shift. And what's being brought to my attention is that we have to do a lot of work on ourselves. There's a lot of inner work. There's a lot of inner work, period, that we have to do on ourselves. And this is where the needed conversations are about. Because in order to access a higher frequency, which this planet is moving into, regardless of whether you want to or not, there's certain things that we've got to shed in ourselves in order to have information flow through us. There's no way about it. So that means that we've got to pay attention. Paying attention to the things within ourselves that are coming up to be evaluated. I used to say before, in my earlier videos, I used to come up with topics about, just general things in life, and, when people get emotional and things coming up. These are the things that have to be addressed now, because in order to receive, we have to let go of stuff. You can't fill an already full cup. And what it is, they're making us address things that on an everyday level that we deal with, emotional stuff, pains, trauma, things that we don't talk about. As women, we have a lot of each other to talk about. We got each other to talk to about things. Men, I don't know if men have that space or that capacity to talk about the things and the problems that they go through. So these are the conversations and the situations that we have to start to address as a collective, so we can move through them in our own time and in our own space, so collectively we can elevate, because we all go through them. Nobody's exempt. I'll be honest. When I go through challenges, I have elders that I go to and talk to. I have people that I can talk to that will see things from another perspective in order to guide me through it. And I am eternally grateful for them, as well as, priests and, Ifa, Maoshon, I can go on Egbe, I can keep going on my ancestors. I will always have them, and I give thanks for their support and their guidance. Again, Maori. But even saying that, we as a collective, we as individuals, we have to start doing work on ourselves. We have to start acknowledging when there is pain or when there's a lot of anger going on within yourself, it stems from something. So we got to start asking the questions of, how do I go through it? How do I move through it? How do I change what I'm dealing with? And the reason why I said these are needed conversations is because there's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to have people to talk to, whether it's family, whether it's friends. They just don't have that, or they don't even feel that they are capable of speaking about their deep inner feelings. And this is what we got to stop, because there's emotions or there's energies within us now that are keeping us trapped. And it's not because they're meant to be there, it's because we've been holding on to them for so long, and so we have to do things about it. So again, like I said, there is many things that we need to do, have conversations to talk about, whether it's like I said, the anger is a big thing, because even in this day and time that we're going on in right now, there's a lot of anger when it comes to all the stuff that we've been going through as a people. The anger is and it's justified. Like I said, it's justified, because it's like, how much more can we take without reacting in a certain way? Yet at the same time, it's like the anger is there to let you know that there's something that needs to be addressed. Staying in that angered space only hurts you on an internal level. So how do you move through it? And I keep saying again, is that divine love, the energy of love, will have within it the information and wisdom you need to move through things. So if understanding that from that perspective, anger comes to tell you something's wrong, you add on top of that, or emerge on top of that divine love, and allow the wisdom to flow through you to maneuver through it. So again, there's topics that we need to talk about. Like I said, we talk about race if you want, but to me, we're talking about issues that we have on a personal level, situations, trauma that we've not dealt with, anger, whether it's to dealing with love and relating with another person. These things have to be talked about, so you can get to work through things within yourself, so you can become a lighter being. I'm trying to connect with some people in order to gain resources for people to have an outlet to speak to. Because in order to have these kind of topics, you got to have other people that are available to help usher through this kind of space. So one of the things were, it came to me today. What's it said? Free your mind, and the rest will follow. Well, freeing your mind means working through some of the things that you're dealing with on an inner level, to be able to free yourself enough in order to gain the wisdom and knowledge you need to take yourself into another place, or to be able to, like I said, everything's changing, and to be able to sit with the frequency changes that's going on, you got to be able to maneuver through it, which first means that you got to let some things go. So I'm going to address certain topics, not because I feel like I have all the answers at all, and I'm not saying that, and I'm thankful for anybody that wants to have input on these things, because as a collective, there's a lot of things that we need to know, and there's a lot of things that we need to address. So again, topics of whether it is love in between two people, or pains and suffering and trauma. And trauma is one of the biggest things, because trauma has a way of settling in a person, and the outburst that they think is to do with what's going on right now has nothing to do with right now, but has everything to do with what happened back then. But because the trauma or the pain or the suffering has never been dealt with, the reactions that they have now is based from there, but you're not even realizing it. So again, these are some of the conversations. So it's just like a pre-visit to this space, so you can understand where I'm coming from, because I think that it's necessary. If we're trying to change the world, we have to collectively understand the things within ourselves that we have to change, as well as the stuff outside of us that we have to change. So I'm gonna leave that there right now, because I'm gonna come back. Hopefully I'll come back today for the first topic. But yeah, just understand that we got work to do in ourselves on an inner level to change what's going on outside. So we have to address these things, and I'm just hoping that everybody's willing to, even if they don't know how, but just willing to accept that that is a part of where we're going as a collective. Because the world is changing. It is definitely changing. The frequency shift is actually happening. We cannot avoid that. But we can make it hard for ourselves, or we'll make it easier. And the way if the way it's going to be hard is staying in the space that we've been in, the emotions and that we've been carrying, and keeping them in that space. It doesn't help us. We can't move through anything with the same frequencies and the same energies that we've been dealing with for many, many years. You understand, when it comes to the judicial system, all the way that they play things out, it doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean? Relationships the way they are, they don't work anymore. What they can and can't. But what I'm saying is there's a new way of things coming in. So we've got to find new ways of dealing with things. You can't heal one side and expect the other side not to heal. And, just the same way you've got, people that go to jail. They think in order for them to stop doing the things that they're doing, you just put them in jail, lock them up, throw away the key. And then once they've been there for a long period of time, hopefully they'll come out and they'll be able to move through it. But quite frankly, if you don't give them something to think about, if you do not try and reform or something their mindset, you're going to perpetuate the same stuff. So even though there's people that are, that have been harshly done things bad, they still need some way of spiritually being healed, so they do not continue to do the same things again and create more victims in the process. So there's two sides of stuff that we've got to look at. The people that have been victimized, and then the people that are doing the victimizations. You know what I mean? Everything needs to be totally looked at from a different perspective, from a different level, in order to change the way that this world's going. It can't keep doing the same thing. And, a lot of the things that have been put in place has been put in place due to a lot of fears. You know what I mean? Or we fear that this person is going to do this, so we have to lock them up. Or we fear that they're going to do this, so we put them in a mental hospital. We fear this is going on, so we do this. Or we pump them with drugs. And a lot of the times, all these drugs, all they're doing is keeping them subdued and mentally messed up. But how do we heal them in a way that doesn't happen again? Remember, we come into this life with things to work on, not just for ourselves, but for our ancestral line. When trauma happens, it is the person who's dealing with it right now, is they have the opportunity to heal that from their lineage. How do you do that? Is you take the time to go through the healing. No matter what stuff's going on with you, you have to take that time to do that healing in order to work through that, so it doesn't become a continuous cycle. Trauma can continue through life as long as you allow it to. So, like I said, we have to have conversations to do these works. But I'm going to leave it there, and I'll try and I work on doing kind of one topic at a time, because these are going to be very, to me, from what they've given me, it's going to be very touching. And it's going to force a lot of people to recognize what's going on within them in order to make changes. So it could be a little uncomfortable, but only if we're willing to look at ourselves with that mirror, can we make the real changes that we need to make in our life. All right, but I'm going to leave it there. And I love you. I love me too. And we shall resume another time. Take care. Peace out.